Can I sell those too?
Can I sell my handyman services on rentsell.com?
On rentsell.com, you can rent anything, sell anything, or sell any service you provide and get paid.
Rentsell.com. Rent, sell, service, list. I's got it.
For local breaking news, watch Brenton Awa and Mika Miyashima every weekday at 6 and 10 p.m. Only on KITV4 Island News. Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back. Time now 6:59. Well, you say Aloha shirt and most people immediately think of Hawaii. This very local clothing item actually first debuted in the early 20th century and has changed so much since.
That's right, Tom. A new exhibit at Ward Village traces the history of the Aloha shirt. It's been worn by servicemen stationed in Honolulu during World War II, downtown businessmen, and even surfers, but its designs have changed over the decades. One designer says the shirt's future value lies more in what it symbolizes.
Where do you see the future of the Aloha shirt?
It's really about lifestyles. It's more about comfort, and now I think more than ever we need that message of aloha.
The free exhibit is on display at Ward Village through September 30th.
Yeah, I love getting able to wear that on Aloha Friday, especially you don't have to wear the suit and tie, just kind of relax, throw that on, and even for on air, it's great.
That's right, it really does embody the Aloha spirit.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. All right, well, this morning's top stories in a full hour of Island News kicks off right now.
Now, from KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Right now on Good Morning Hawaii, not a first for the suspect behind the Pacific Palisades standoff.
Plus, the alleged Lucky Strike gunman says he can't afford his $1 million bail. Now, his attorney filing a motion to try and give that murder suspect a chance at supervised release before his trial.
And life sentences for two people who beat a Kona hotel security guard.
And a closer look this morning into Thursday's more than 15-hour-long standoff in Pearl City. This is some new video that shows what appears to be a Honolulu police officer taking aim at a suspect who barricaded himself inside a house in Pacific Palisades. Good morning, Hawaii. I'm Tom George. Now, after he surrendered just past midnight, he was arrested but has not yet been charged.
I'm Annalisa Burgos, but now that he's been arrested, 51-year-old Wayman Kawa faces 2 counts of attempted murder and possible firearms violations. The incident started at 9 a.m. on Thursday, apparently over an argument. Police say they saw Kawa with a gun, but he refused to put it down and instead pointed it at an officer who fired back. The barricade forced residents out of their homes until after midnight on Friday, when special service officers deployed tear gas into Kawa's home. Kawa was later treated for a gunshot wound sustained during a shootout with HPD.
Now, this was not Kawa's first standoff with police. In fact, back in 1998, Kawa held someone hostage in Pearl City until he was shot in the chest by police. He was later sentenced to 20 years behind bars for that incident. And even further back in 1990, Kawa was also behind a standoff in Ewa Beach, but that one ended peacefully. On Thursday, KITV4 heard from 2 brothers who say it was actually at their home that Kawa barricaded himself in back in 1998.
It's pretty crazy. It's the same guy, different area that had the similar standoff situation. What it kind of draws is that people need help, you know, like for this to happen more than once, more than twice is more than one time enough.
And it's crazy, those 2 brothers were there both times. And in fact, we received this picture that was taken in 1998 when those brothers had to seek shelter. You can see how young they were compared to now during that standoff. They also said that they are not related to Kawa.
On your crime watch now, Honolulu police are looking for a man accused of robbing Territorial Savings Bank in Kaimuki. It happened on Thursday, and police report he flashed a gun at a teller and demanded money. The teller gave him an unknown amount of cash, then took off. The suspect's described to be in his late 50s, 5'8", 6 feet tall, about 180 pounds, with short black hair that may have been a wig. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 955-8300.
Well, a 26-year-old man was arrested for allegedly stabbing and killing a 27-year-old man in Waipahu Thursday night. It all happened around 11 o'clock near Kuhaulua and Api'i streets. Police report what started as an argument ended up with one man dead in the hospital and another man possibly facing a second-degree murder charge.
The attorney of the alleged Lucky Strike gunman filed a motion for supervised release and reduced bail yesterday. Court documents showed 23-year-old Capono Miranda cannot afford to pay his bail, set at $1 million. Miranda is accused of shooting and killing 20-year-old Alan Jennings at Ala Moana Center last weekend. He's expected back in court next Thursday.
All right, switching gears now to your weekend forecast. You're taking a live look outside. If you're just joining us, again, Lay is off this morning, so we kind of had to scrape the bottom of the barrel. So for the first time in my 7-year journalism career, I'm doing weather today, so bear with me. We'll see how this goes. Right now, it is 76 degrees in Honolulu today. The winds are going to be down, but the temperatures and showers will be up. So you can see a nice little start to your day, but that humidity level, 82%, a little bit muggy as you're waking up in Honolulu. But you can see the winds right there. Not too bad. The maximum 15 miles per hour out in Kapolei, so a little bit more rough on the south-facing shores, but not too bad. Now we're taking a look at our radar. You can see not too much. We might see a little bit of a shower here or there, especially for the Big Island. If you're just waking up to that, some morning showers there on your satellite. High temperatures today, not too bad compared to what we've been seeing. Man, it was pretty rough out there. We were sweating it out in Kapolei, but maximum of 80 there in Kona. So if you're hitting the waves, if you're pretty inexperienced on the water like I am, might be a good day to test out surfing. Only going to be 1 to 3 feet there if you're heading out for the surf. Now switching gears to your forecast. Pretty hot for all this week. Going to be high of 90s for most of the week, though. If you do look, though, at Sunday and Monday, we are going to see a little bit of scattered showers there. But the good news, though, in all this is the trades are coming back. So we're going to need those trades when it's this hot outside. So that's the forecast for now. If it's wrong, then there's other people you can blame. But hey, this is my first time doing it. We'll see how for now. We'll send it back to you, Annalisa.
Okay, Tom, I think you're doing fine. No worries about that. All right, on Hawaii Island, 2 people who brutally beat a hotel security guard in Kona last year were sentenced to life in prison. And a warning, some viewers may find this video disturbing. Natasha Tautalatasi and Wesley Samoa were given the possibility of parole at their sentencing on Thursday. Lama Lauvao, also involved in the attack, was sentenced to 10 years behind bars. The group beat security guard John Kanui at the Kona Seaside Hotel last September after he asked them to turn their music down. Kanui was hospitalized in critical condition. His family released a statement last month saying Kanui was left paralyzed from the chest down.
Well, Florence and Gerard Puana were granted a new civil trial against their granddaughter and niece, Catherine Kealoha. A circuit court judge overturned the verdict from a 2015 civil lawsuit where the Puanas sued Kealoha for financial fraud and elder abuse. Kealoha won that case, getting $600,000. But it opened the doors to that mailbox frame job conspiracy that we all heard a lot about during the trial. Kealoha, a former deputy prosecutor, along with her husband, Lewis, of course, the former police chief here in Honolulu, and 2 HPD officers were convicted in that case earlier this year. The judge said there was actually enough new information to overturn the verdict, but whether or not the Puanas actually have to pay that $658,000 owed still has to be determined.
The American Civil Liberties Union believes too many people are incarcerated in Hawaii who aren't even convicted yet. A new report by the ACLU shows more than 5,600 people were behind bars in 2017 and dating back to 1980. That's an increase of almost 500%. But the ACLU has recommendations to lower the population, including drug abuse programs, mental health care, and shortening pre-trial detention.
Some of these issues are public health issues, right? They're not public safety. They're not, we shouldn't be just locking people up. We should address the root of the problem. And it's public, it's health.
Overcrowding is another big issue in the report, showing about 1,500 inmates sent to private facilities in Arizona in 2017. A spokesperson for the State Department of Public Safety says they welcome any initiative that helps reduce the population while maintaining the community's safety and security.
All right, well, if you were driving by the Hawaii State Capitol building yesterday morning and you saw something out of the ordinary, you were right. You might have noticed that the American flag was flying upside down. Now, that's usually a symbol of distress, but the Sergeant of Arms tells us it was a mistake. It was corrected as soon as it was noticed.
And I think a lot of people were kind of confused, maybe that it was associated with the movement, but they have said no. That's not the case.
Yeah, so but good eyes for the people driving by to notice that and call it in. So people keeping an eye out for sure.
That's right. That is a pretty jarring mistake.
Absolutely,
so. All right, the time now, 7:09 a.m. this Saturday morning, and we're going to come up with your morning shakas for some young climate activists across the world.
Yeah, plus get those creative juices flowing. It's National Live Creative Day. Time now 7:09. You're watching Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back.
I'm gonna go home, have me a little nap, and go over to Thelma Lou's and watch a little TV.
If you like that plan, try MASH.
What next?
Then the Andy Griffith Show.
All part of my master plan.
Digital Channel 12.2. Spectrum Cable Channel 995.
So you're with the UPS store?
Yes. In fact, we printed these right here.
I thought you guys just did shipping.
No, we do printing, packing, faxing, notarizing, shredding, mailboxing, designing, returning, storing, crating. Oh, and of course, shipping.
So you're into shipping?
We also do printing, packing, faxing.
Come into the UPS store today for everything your small business needs. And of course, shipping.
Need printing? We have just the ink for you. To find one of 21 locations in Hawaii, visit theupsstore.com. Hawaii small businesses work hard for their customers. Chocolea is a gourmet chocolate company in Manoa. They specialize in creating dark chocolate truffles and other treats. In the heart of Aiea lies Sumida Farms. This family farm has existed since 1928 through determination and hard work. Aloha Dry Cleaners and Laundry has operated for over 20 years. With 3 locations, they are proud to service Oahu. As Small Business Lender of the Year, CPB supports local businesses in all they do for our economy. It's another way Central Pacific Bank is going beyond for you.
Hey, my name's Kimmy. It's nice to meet you. Hi. So what's your name? It doesn't take much to help someone feel noticed. Malama Mentors.
It's that time of year again. Catch Giants baseball on our sister station, Metv, all season long. For the complete game schedule, head to our website, KITV.com.
Giants Baseball in Hawaii is brought to you locally by these sponsors.
Time now for your morning shakas. And today we're going to be recognizing a 16-year-old climate activist from Sweden who's rallying young people outside of the White House to fight for the survival of our planet.
Let's go! No more oil! Keep that carbon in the soil!
Yeah, Greta Thunberg is attracting some major attention for inspiring students around the world to take a stand. Thousands are on strike to demand action from political leaders. Their rallying cries come just as the Environmental Protection Agency announced rollbacks for an Obama-era rule that protects rivers and wetlands.
The Clean Waters Act, which didn't give you clean waters. By the way, today we have the cleanest air, we have the cleanest water that we've ever had in the history of our country, right?
Now, according to an ABC News Washington Post poll, more than half of those who answered say they do not approve of how President Trump is handling the issue of climate change. Next week, Thunberg will be taking her fight to Capitol Hill to meet with lawmakers. A UN climate summit and global climate strike also kicks off next Friday.
And we're not being left out of that. Of course, students in Hawaii will join millions around the world in organizing their own climate strike. A march and rally are set for next Friday from Washington Place to the state capitol, then Honolulu Hale. Students on Maui will strike at the University of Hawaii campus in Kahului. On Hawaii Island, sign waving will be set up along Bayfront Highway near the King Kamehameha statue downtown. And students on the Garden Isle will meet at Kauai Community College. And for more information on times and locations, head to our website, KITV.com.
And as part of National Child Passenger Safety Week, Hawaii Island Police stepping up enforcement efforts next week.
Officers will be checking to make sure keiki are properly secured in their car seats and in a car seat appropriate for their age and size. If kids are not properly secured, drivers face a first-time offense of $100 and will be required to attend a car seat safety class. If you need any help finding the right car seat or the proper way to use it, you can stop by a local police or fire station and they'd be glad to show you how to use it.
So important, especially as they grow up. You got to change sizes and people don't realize. Yeah. All right, well, it's time to let your imagination run wild because today is National Live Creative Day. So what is that? It's time to unleash your inner child, create a masterpiece, or just get out of your same old routine. Even looking at logical problems involving math or computer code in a different way can lead to some unexpected results. Many of the world's greatest thinkers have also been some of the most creative minds, so give yourself permission to join them.
That's right. Sometimes we get so bogged down with the daily grind that we don't really take time to be creative.
Absolutely.
Just maybe some sketching.
Yeah, you never know where the inspiration will take you, for sure.
And also singing, because I know we have the Island Idol coming up. And so, of course, that's another way to release your creativity.
Absolutely. You could be the next star, for sure. Well, another Friday of high school football across our islands. Cody Krupp will have the Blitz coming up in sports. Highlights and final scores coming your way. Time now, 7:15. Stay with us. You're watching Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back.
What makes working here so special is the residents, clients, and members of Arcadia. And I'm constantly humbled each day.
I enjoy working here because of the residents. They're welcoming, they make me feel at home.
My bosses are great, they work with you. I mean, I really like working here.
It is a very special community. The culture and the values, everyone here is so warm and kind and very grateful to be here. It's not really a job, it's just a fun place to hang out.
Aloha, I'm Paula Akana. Join KITV4 Island News as we celebrate some very special wahine in Hawaii's remarkable women. From fighting for equality to excelling in careers that were once unheard of for women, they've all left their mark on our island communities and for some, the world. Each month, we'll share a different story of their sacrifices and achievements. Hawaii's remarkable women, only on KITV4 Island News at 6.
KITV4 honors remarkable women, brought to you by Ashley Home Store.
You could look up disgusting in the dictionary and there'd be a picture of this.
Who's harder to love?
I need a 5-letter word meaning headache.
How about in-law?
Then a mother-in-law.
Would it kill you to show me a little kindness one time? You used up your one time the day I let you in the door.
Metv has hit the comedy mother load.
I've got to start watching my weight. That ought to be easy, Louise.
Metv, Digital Channel 4.2 and Spectrum Cable 126.
Pack your bags and be ready to go to Las Vegas instantly with Vacations Hawaii and KITV4 Island News. Enter at KITV.com and watch Good Morning Hawaii to see if you're the winner. Then be ready to go to Vegas with Vacations Hawaii that week. Pack your bags. We go Vegas.
From the smallest cottage to the largest house on the block, Wisteria Lane has something for everyone. Transform your home with one of our wide selection of flooring, a luxurious look for the everyday homeowner, and with an unbeatable pricing. Visit Wisteria Lane today.
Catch up on today's top headlines with KITV4's Brenton Awad, 5, 6, and 10.
Welcome back. Well, less than 2 weeks after Hurricane Dorian devastated the Bahamas, a new storm now headed their way. Tropical storm Umberto, strengthening yesterday, is expected to turn into a hurricane in the coming days. Residents in the Bahamas are being warned to prepare for some heavy winds and rain. Now, the storm looks like it'll hit parts of Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina this weekend. All right, well, switching gears back here to our island forecast. Back here at home, you can see a nice view out there in Honolulu for your local forecast. Again, layout this morning, so scraping the bottom of the barrel, having me fill in and do weather here, so bear with me. So today, the winds will be down this morning. You're taking a live look out there at Honolulu. Right now, pretty nice, 76 degrees as you're waking up on your Saturday. The humidity, though, look at that number, 82%. So a little bit muggy, though, as you're waking up this morning and heading heading out the door today. Today, the winds will be down, but the temperatures and showers will be up. You can see the winds right there, not too bad. The craziest winds there, 15 miles per hour in Kapolei, so a little bit rougher on your south shores and the southern islands. Now switching gears to the radar, not too much there, but we could see some isolated showers there, especially in our southern islands, the Big Island especially. Your satellite, again, there not too much. The trade winds will be on the lighter side. High temperatures today. Doesn't get much better than that, right? 79 degrees in Honolulu, the highest we're seeing, 80 degrees in Kona. All right, and if you're hitting the waves, it's probably a good day to hit the waves if you maybe have enough surfing experience as I have doing weather, which is not much. If you're a beginner, good, only 1 to 3 feet out there for your surf. Which brings us to our forecast for the next 8 days. I wish I could have better news for you, but it's going to be pretty rough. Look at that number, 90 degrees all week. The good news, though, there is a silver lining in all that. The trade winds are expected to come back, which we really need those trade winds for sure, because if you look at that number, it's pretty hot out there. So by Monday to Tuesday, the trade winds expected to come back. Some little isolated showers on Sunday, but the rest of the week, going to be pretty hot, which is what we've been seeing the last couple days. So not much relief in sight for that. So with that, that's your forecast. Now for sports with Cody Krupp.
Well, the season flying by before our eyes. Another Friday of high school football, and we had some good football games. And as my man Brett Favre would say when he got down on our center, green 19, green 19 set, blue 58, blue 58 set. Let's get to the blitz. So how about the Iolani Raiders, fresh off giving their head coach Wendell Lucas 200th win last week, 201 sure looked good as taking on last year's D1 champ Waipahu. What a throw this was. Jonah Chong have another look as Coach Look, gotta love it, post fade to Ko Ichikawa. So 6-0 Raiders and everything going right. Special teams, that was Shea Molina putting his big paws on it. That set up Brody Logan back to Lena. He could have ballerina that football into the end zone. So you got some offense, some special teams, and why not add the defense to the mix? The black shirt swarming. It was Mekhi Pay holding them up, Micah Kamat who popped it loose, and Isaac Ignacio the scoop. So Iolani in business once again, and well, they scored again to make it 20-0. That defense hungry for more. It was tipped and into the arms of the big fella, Lima Harbottle. Yeah, I would say keep that football. That is one that you're probably never going to get a chance at again. So Iolani against last year's D1 champs, 48-14. They get the victory in Aloha Stadium. So this is the game of the night right here. Action sizzling between 4-1 Lele Hua and undefeated, unbeaten Davian. So tied 14-14 at the half, and Keiko Turnigan turned left and found his guy Jason Ramos. So the Mules go up, but the Monarchs, they aren't going down without a fight. What a game this was. Periamo Sulu getting loose down the sidelines. That's going to set up Damien nicely right here in scoring territory. So from 5 yards out, River, Yaia punching it in, but they were down to 8 points in the final seconds. They had the ball at the 2-yard line. They had 2 chances to score, and they couldn't do it. So Lele Hua knocks off that unbeaten Damien. A final of 34-26, and a good one. So back to Aloha Stadium we go. It was an earlier game where they rumble in Division II, undefeated Roosevelt, putting that on the line against Pac-5, and never really in jeopardy. Sky Ogata to Chase Akana from the 1, and then the touchdown number 1 for Micah Kukahiva. So 7-0 Rough Riders, and it's a little bit of a longer run, but same type of run, and it's same results, churning, burning, and it is a Roosevelt touchdown finish with 3 touchdowns. He leads all Division II, and well, they gave up 1 Pac-5 TD late in the final minutes, but they tied a school record with 13 straight shutout quarters before that. The Rough Riders stay unbeaten 21-6.
We spoke with her prior to the match. Was optimistic. No fracture is really the only factual thing we have.
Well, there's the update on Rainbow Wahine volleyball star Jolie Rasmussen. Suffered an ankle injury in a Thursday win over West Virginia. So without her on Friday against Utah Valley, but held off a late charge in the first set, 25-20, and then coming from behind in set 2, they trailed 17-20, but 8 straight points for the Rainbow Wahine. They pulled it out 25-20, and yeah, they couldn't take the broom out of the maintenance closet. There wasn't a sweep as Utah Valley roared in set 3, 25-20, but then UH shut the door. It was Aloha ball 4 set, and you can keep that Rainbow Warriors record undefeated. 25-15 last set is 17 kills from freshman Hannah Helbig to go with 17 digs. That ain't too shabby.
the kids, they were just excited to have cheerleaders. They knew we were cheerleaders. You know, they got to play with my pom-poms.
It's always good seeing the kids smile and like enjoying themselves when they see like strangers and making them feel comfortable.
So today it is time for some football between Rainbow Warriors and the Washington Huskies. But yesterday it was about giving a little time to the Seattle Children's Hospital. It was part of the Hawaii Tourism Authority and the Hawaii cheerleaders teaming up with the Husky cheerleaders. Spent time with Keiki there in Seattle. There was music, arts and crafts, a hula performance, and well, that kickoff scheduled for 1:30 today. Are the Bows going to stay 3-0 or go to 3-0? We're going to have to wait and see. We'll have more later today in sports, but that's it for sports for now, right here on KITV4 Island Sports.
Did you know you can make money on rentsell.com, renting or selling anything you own?
Can I rent or sell my vehicles on rentsell.com?
Can I rent or sell my tools on rentsell.com?
What about my hair, makeup, and nail services? Can I sell those too?
Can I sell my handyman services on rentsell.com?
On rentsell.com, you can rent anything, sell anything, or sell any service you provide and get paid.
Rentsell.com. Rent, sell, service, list. I's got it.
Ekahi Ornish Lifestyle Medicine's the first scientifically proven program to reverse chronic conditions like heart disease. It's a 9-week lifestyle modification program focused on eating better, moving more, stressing less, and improving relationships. The staff at Ekahi can help you reverse heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, lose weight, and decrease your medications. For a healthier, happier tomorrow, call them today.
Cancer affects nearly every resident in Hawaii, whether you have been diagnosed with cancer or know someone who has. Aloha, I'm Drew Santos, president of Admore HVAC Products, Hawaii's Fujitsu distributor. CoolingCancer.org is a nonprofit agency geared to let Hawaii help Hawaii. Please join us in our fight to find a cure and support cancer research in Hawaii. All donations and proceeds will remain in Hawaii and will be donated to the University of Hawaii Cancer Center.
Look, I'm sorry. I think it's time we move on. It's not you. It's just time. It's time for both of us. It's time for us to move on. You're gonna give somebody else so much. You have a lot to offer, and you're gonna be a lifesaver.
Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back. Time now 7:26.
And if you're looking for some family-friendly fun this weekend, KITV4's Tasia Worley has some ideas.
Are you guys walking like mad?
Kick off your Saturday and walk like mad. The Morning Walk, hosted by Mothers Against Drunk Driving, aims to increase road safety. The annual 5K fundraiser begins at the Ala Moana Center Macy's at 7 o'clock and ends before 9. Registration is open online. Or head over to Oahu's North Shore for the 7th annual Kalo and Ava Day. Waimea Valley is celebrating the culture and traditions of these crops with cooking workshops, live music, keiki crafts, and more. The free event runs from 8:30 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Plus, the longest-running Aloha Festival's Ohana event is coming back to Pearl Ridge Center. This year's Kiki Ho'olaulea will feature hula halau, arts and crafts, and live music the whole family can enjoy. And it's all going down from 10 to 4 at the mall's Vaimakai Center Court. And if you're on Hawaii Island, you can see Old Hawaii on horseback. The Paniolo Preservation Society is working to keep the legacy of the Hawaiian cowboy alive. More than 100 costumed riders will descend on Waimea's Waikiki Ranch Polo Field and relive historic moments in the state's ranching history. Attendees can also enjoy the sweet sounds of Grammy Award winner John Cruz. The celebration runs from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the second annual Waikiki Fall Fest is happening this Saturday. Attendees will have the chance to check out food, retail, and other local handmade products. The event will shut down Kalakaua Avenue from Seaside to Kapahulu Avenues. Admission is free. It starts at 4 o'clock and ends at 10. Those are just a few of the events happening around the islands this weekend. For more details and ideas, check out our website, KITV.com. I'm Tasia Worthy, KITV4 Island News. Have a great weekend.
A lot of cool stuff going on, and a sci-fi classic also returning to theaters for its 40th anniversary. You can catch the screening of Star Trek: The Motion Picture tomorrow and Wednesday. The first big screen mission of the Starship Enterprise will play in more than 600 U.S. theaters. It'll be preceded by a behind-the-scenes documentary short. And here on the islands, you can catch it at the Regal Dole Cannery, the Regal Kapolei Commons, and the Regal Maui Mall Megaplex.
I know we just showed the image of William Shatner. Do you remember when he went on to do those commercials?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's really kind of funny. But I'm more of a Patrick Stewart fan, so.
Yeah, but he has that distinct voice. I can't really do it, yeah.
That's right. All right, your time now, 7:29 a.m. this Saturday morning. Your top morning headlines coming up. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
In the our airport service is my kailoa. Imua, I hop into and from your heart. Our big on a discount service is for sure. Hai nai mai kapuana ea. Kawaii kaholo in the cab. We take you to and from the airport with big discount. Go dial 4222222 the cab.
What's the M things in Eggs and Things? Celebrating over 45 years in Hawaii. They use only 100% fresh local eggs, 100% local beef, and 100% fresh locally caught fish. Rediscover Hawaii's original all-day breakfast and things at Eggs and Things.
Cancer affects nearly every resident in Hawaii, whether you have been diagnosed with cancer or know someone who has. Aloha, I'm Drew Santos, president of Admore HVAC Products, Hawaii's Fujitsu distributor. CoolingCancer.org is a nonprofit agency geared to let Hawaii help Hawaii. Please join us in our fight to find a cure and support cancer research in Hawaii. All donations and proceeds will remain in Hawaii and will be donated to the University of Hawaii Cancer Center.
The staff at Kinoole is outstanding. They're always patient, they're kind. They care for the seniors as if they were family, and they always show them respect and compassion. I take care of her because I love her. Other than being at home with me, I would not want her anyplace else.
Enriched, dependable senior living on the windward side of Oahu. Kinoole Estate.
From KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Right now in Good Morning Hawaii, the gloves came off at the Democratic debate. Now the candidates vying for the White House back on the trail, hoping to turn their debate performances into momentum in the race.
Plus, 6 people have now died from illnesses due to vaping, and hundreds more have been hospitalized. The White House now stepping in. The new ban, they hope, will help curb the problem.
And as tensions continue over the 30-meter telescope, the governor now claiming some of the rhetoric has gone too far and that some state officials are being cyberbullied.
And let's take a look now at the White House. That's a live look as the Democratic candidates hit the campaign trail, hoping to become the nominee to take on the current resident at the home on Pennsylvania Avenue. As Kara Phillips explains, they're looking to capitalize on any momentum they may have created at the latest debate.
I think any Democrat in that stage can beat Donald Trump.
This morning, candidates appealing to voters over the #1 issue for Democrats, health care.
Last night was the closest we came to a debate, okay? We actually had an open debate on health care.
I was not pleased that Vice President Biden distorted what Medicare for All is.
Biden, the party's early leader, who stayed in Houston, also butting heads with another candidate.
Are you forgetting what you said 2 minutes ago? Are you forgetting already what you
said just 2 minutes ago?
While greeting students at Texas Southern, Biden's campaign calling that moment a low blow by Castro.
I don't view it as anything. I think he's got his facts wrong.
Mr. President, releasing your medical records to address concerns by...
I don't have, what the hell concerns, man? You want to wrestle?
Other candidates like Kamala Harris, who had memorable quips like this.
And now, President Trump, you can go back to watching Fox News.
Are just trying to gain traction, like here at this fundraiser in Chicago.
We need a new commander-in-chief.
And then there's Beto O'Rourke and this dramatic moment talking about gun control.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore.
Generating new 2020 swag, while at the same time prompting Texas state lawmaker Briscoe Cain to tweet this apparent threat. "My AR is ready for you, Robert Francis." That tweet quickly removed by Twitter.
Another move made by both the Biden and Castro campaigns was their email blast. They both mentioned that healthcare exchange where Castro challenged Biden's memory, and in turn, Biden's campaign called it a low blow. They appeared to capitalize on that, mentioning the standout moment in those emails, and then added a link to donate to their campaigns. At the White House, I'm Kira Phillips, ABC News.
And the Justice Department plans to honor the team who helped Brett Kavanaugh make it onto the U.S. Supreme Court. The Attorney General's Award for Distinguished Service is the department's second highest award for employee performance. Kavanaugh was confirmed to the Supreme Court last October despite allegations of sexual misconduct, which he strongly denies.
And turning to other news now, the Trump administration made a big announcement yesterday. As Mandy Gaither explains, it's aimed at stopping teens from vaping.
After officials say a sixth person has died from lung disease related to vaping,
Yes, sir, the FDA's on it.
the Trump administration is taking a step to combat the epidemic.
We can't allow people to get sick, and we can't have our youth be so affected.
Under a new enforcement policy expected in the coming weeks, all flavored e-cigarettes other than tobacco flavor will have to be removed from the shelves. The products would remain off the market unless they become approved by the FDA. Manufacturers of tobacco-flavored e-cigarettes would have until May 2020 to file for approval by the FDA, says Alex Azar, the U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services.
What we've seen is the data just shows the kids are getting access to these products in spite of our best efforts at enforcement, at retail enforcement.
Earlier this week, the FDA issued letters to leading e-cigarette maker Juul Labs warning the company about illegally marketing its product as a safer alternative to cigarettes. A Juul spokesperson says, "We are reviewing the letters and will fully cooperate." The e-cigarette company has maintained its products are intended to convert adult smokers to what it described in the past as a less harmful alternative. I'm Mandy Gaither reporting.
Yeah, and definitely an alarming trend. At least 450 possible cases of severe lung disease across 33 states. In fact, here in Hawaii, we also saw our first case of a teenager on the Big Island going to the hospital. And according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, that all could be linked to vaping. And that includes 6 deaths. In a tweet last night, President Trump striking a different tone on the subject of vaping. The president tweeting out, quote, "While I like the vaping as an alternative to cigarettes, we need to make sure this alternative is safe for all. Let's get counterfeits off the market and keep young children from vaping," end quote.
The Safe Banking Act will go before the House this month. Now, that bill will allow cannabis businesses to access to the federal banking system, providing protections for banks that work with marijuana companies since the substance is still illegal under federal law. Several states having legalized medical or recreational marijuana in recent years, resulting in the federal banking issue for cannabis businesses.
And state officials are calling on the public to help stop what they call the cyberbullying of government employees amid the ongoing tensions over Mauna Kea.
That's right. A lot of death threats they're receiving during the removal of an unauthorized structure on Mauna Kea last week. Citizens reacted strongly to the cutting of the Hawaiian flag, prompting a barrage of hate speech and death threats against employees involved in that operation. One post offered a $5,000 bounty for the identity of the officer who cut the flag, while another worker's contact information was live streamed on social media and led to this phone call.
The people are suffering and you watch go down. Clown, I hope he die.
And that was Attorney General Claire Connors playing that voicemail there. She said her office is investigating all threats and actions involved in the current TMT discourse. Both sides also part of that discussion. Potential violations include terror threats and extortion. TMT opposition protesters told reporters they do not support calls for violence, but asked law enforcement officials to be more mindful of insensitive acts like cutting the flag.
It was the irresponsible behavior of law enforcement that generated all this pilikio. They need to take some responsibility and accountability for that decision, and they should provide training for their officers to not do that kind of stuff.
And for continuing coverage on the tension over TMT, visit our website, KITV.com. You can also download our free KITV4 mobile app.
All right, switching gears now to your weather. This is a live look out at Waikiki Beach. You can see some nice waves out there as you're waking up on your Saturday. Want to switch gears now to your weekend forecast. Right now, as you're waking up in Honolulu, 76 degrees, pretty nice out there. That big number, though, to look out for, the humidity level, 82%. Man, it has been rough. It has been pretty muggy all week, and it looks like it's going to stay that way. Today, the winds will be down, but the temperatures and showers will be up. You can see right there, the biggest winds we have are in Kapolei, 15 miles per hour, but overall, not too bad. But if you look at the radar right now, not too much, though. We could see some showers possibly, though, for your southern islands, especially the Big Island a little bit later today. The trade winds will be on the lighter side today and tomorrow. And because of that, look at that. Doesn't get much better than that for your Saturday. High of 79 in Honolulu, 80 in Kona. If you're heading out to surf, a good day if you're a beginner, if you have maybe as much surfing experience as I have doing the weather, a good day to go hit the water. Some nice small kind surf, you know, only 1 to 3 feet, so not too bad if you're heading out to the water. So here's your 8-day forecast right now. Pretty rough. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, it was pretty muggy the last couple days. It looks like it's going to stay that way. Man, look at that. Highs in the 90s. The one silver lining, though, in all that, we are expecting the trade winds to come back. If you look right there, 10 to 15 miles per hour. So we definitely need that for sure. And as you look heading into the end of the week, still going to be rough, going to be muggy. It's Hawaii. It's still basically the summer out here. So I don't know what else to tell you. But hey, that's your 8-day forecast. We'll send it back to you, Annalisa.
All right. Thanks for that, Tom. For the first time, the University of Hawaii at Manoa has restrooms meant for everybody, and reviews on campus are mixed. KITV4's TJ Horgan reports some people believe it's a step in the right direction for inclusivity, while others say flush it.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
We all have the right to use the restroom that corresponds to the gender that we identify with, not the sex that was randomly assigned at our birth.
UH Manoa opened its first multi-stall all-gender restroom this semester in the Center for Student Services, thanks to a push from the school's LGBTQ center.
So some of the students also in this building saw that, you know, you're the center of all things for students on campus, so I think it's time for us to take this leap, and we did.
Some students are apprehensive.
It's going to take some time.
I mean, I personally wouldn't use them, but like I think it's good for people who are kind of comfortable with that kind of thing. And
others say it might take a little getting used to.
That's been like a thing that's been implemented in like kids since they were little, like little boy, don't go in the girls' bathrooms.
Most of the students I spoke with today, though, told me they do see it as a step in the right direction for removing a stigma, because ultimately it's not that complicated.
I've actually used it, and like it was just like going to the bathroom.
Like everyone would be fine with it, and everyone could just do their business and go on their way.
I don't really have many opinions, but I like everyone to be comfortable, so I'm glad that they did that.
But for the LGBTQ Center, this signifies much more progress than just a bathroom.
I love that we have an inclusive place for everyone with their learning environment and education.
TJ Horgan, KITV4 Island News.
Thanks, TJ. And there's about 100 single-stall gender-neutral restrooms on campus, and that number is expected to grow because school policy requires all new buildings to have at least one. Well, now a drug to prevent life-threatening allergic reactions to peanuts in children could soon be off the market. It's called Palforzia. It doesn't cure peanut allergies, but it stops your throat from closing up if a child accidentally eats peanuts. Now, the drug got the support of a Food and Drug Administration advisory committee yesterday and will be formally reviewed in January. It is likely to get the green light.
And the FDA reported Zantac may contain a cancer-causing impurity. The drug is used to treat heartburn and acid reflux. An FDA spokesperson told USA Today the discovery isn't prompting a recall, but it's a good idea to switch to another over-the-counter drug. Anyone who takes prescription Zantac should talk to their doctor. And I know, Tom, a lot of my friends who use Zantac, they're Asian, and they actually use it to prevent that red glow that they get after drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's something with your system. So it would be good to inform people that
that is a thing.
warning.
That is a thing.
It is a thing, yeah. People swear by it, actually. They say that it helps prevent that really red glow that people get when they drink alcohol. So.
Interesting, but maybe avoid Zantac.
Yes, maybe another brand, as the FDA
some Tums
said.
or something, yeah. All right, well, time now 7:44, and coming up, it's jail time for actress Felicity Huffman, how much time she's getting for her role in the controversial college admissions scandal.
Plus, saying goodbye to a legend, singer Eddie Money dies at the age of 70. Don't go away. Good morning, Hawaii. We'll be right back.
We are not a government agency, yet we are always there. The Hawaii Red Cross needs your donation.
7-Eleven Hawaii and KITV4 are giving away a trip for two to Los Angeles to attend a live taping of The Ellen Show. Air travel provided by Alaska Airlines. Enter at all participating 7-Eleven stores statewide, where you'll find specials like these. Smart Foods popcorn in your favorite flavors like sea salt and white cheddar, 2 for $8.99. America's favorite popcorn brand. Red Bull in regular and sugar-free flavors, 2 for $6. Red Bull gives you wings. Great everyday prices and specials and a flyaway to The Ellen Show. Now through September 29th, only at 7-Eleven Hawaii, your neighborhood store.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into
everyday miracles.
like riding my bike,
Breaking boards. Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
Auntie, how did you do in the storm last night? My jealousies leaked water everywhere.
We had no water leakage at all. I'm so glad we installed breezeway louver windows. They not only seal tightly, but they prevent the traffic noise from keeping us up at night. We shouldn't be replacing jealousies for a really long time. See how awesome they seal up?
Contact Breezeway today to replace your old jealousy windows.
For local breaking news, watch Brent Inawa and Mika Miyashima every weekday at 6 and 10 p.m. only on KITV4 Island News in Hawaii.
Welcome back, 7:46 a.m. on this Saturday morning. Now to the questions that are swirling around embattled NFL star Antonio Brown.
Yeah, sources say the New England Patriots' newest player is expected to take the field in Sunday's game, but as Kaylee Hartung explains, this all comes amid new allegations and a lawsuit.
Antonio Brown taking the practice field, preparing for what could be his first game Sunday with the New England Patriots. This as the NFL investigates allegations of sexual assault against the wide receiver. He remains eligible to play. Sources telling ABC News the league has no plans at this time to put him on the commissioner's exempt list.
It's paid leave. It's been done in the past, and
It's really interesting that the NFL chose not to do this, that Roger Goodell chose not to put him on the commissioner's exempt list.
A week of controversy surrounding the Pro Bowler. His former fitness trainer, Brittany Taylor, filing a civil lawsuit against him, accusing him of sexually assaulting her on at least 3 separate occasions. Brown, who denies the allegations, appearing to address the claims and the backlash in the social media post.
No matter what they say, no matter what they hate, somebody still got to go to work.
The video live streamed from Tom Brady's renowned training facility.
It's called TB12. Let's get it.
Brady keeping quiet.
Things that don't involve me, don't involve me.
And Patriots head coach Bill Belichick refusing to weigh in.
No, I don't have any comment on that.
The loudest rebuke coming from helmet manufacturer Zenith, saying Friday they're dropping their sponsorship of Brown.
Kaylee Hartung, ABC News, New York.
Well, actress Felicity Huffman will spend 2 weeks behind bars. She entered a guilty plea to pay $15,000 to a fake charity to rig her daughter's SAT scores. Huffman is one of dozens of college officials, coaches, and parents accused in that scandal.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens to Lori Loughlin, also involved in that scandal as well. Well, switching gears now, popular 1970s and 80s singer Eddie Money has died. The 70-year-old produced a string of radio-friendly hits. You probably remember 2 Tickets to Paradise, a classic, and Shaken. In a clip for the 2nd season of his reality TV series Real Money, he revealed the sad news he had been diagnosed with stage 4 esophageal cancer. A true legend, though, Money leaves behind a wife and his 5 children.
May you rest in peace. MoviePass has shut down, if you've ever used that. It's the once revolutionary ticketing service that offered theater goers the ability to see 1 movie per day for a fee of just $10 a month. But according to a spokesperson, efforts to recapitalize the service have not been successful to date. It's unclear if the shutdown is permanent.
All right, well, switching gears and turning now to your weekend weather. You're taking a live look out at Honolulu on this beautiful Saturday morning, 76 degrees right now, but kind of humid out there. That's kind of been the story of the last couple days for sure. It has been rough. We have been sweating it out here in the islands right now. Today, though, the winds will be down, but the temperatures and showers will be up. You can see the winds right there on Oahu, a little bit rough there, 15 miles per hour on some of your south-facing shores there. Taking a look at our radar, though, nothing too crazy out there, but if you live on the Big Island, possibly Maui, maybe some scattered showers here and there heading into the afternoon. Satellite, nothing really popping up there either. It's going to be pretty nice out there and doesn't really get much better than that. Take a look. High of 79 in Honolulu, 80 degrees in Kona. And if you're heading out for some surf, if you're a beginner maybe, this is like some baby waves right there. You know, if you're just trying to practice, only 1 to 3 feet. So nothing too crazy if you're an amateur there. And heading out now to your 8-day forecast. Take a look at that. I mean, I wish I could give you some better news. It was pretty rough and hot the past couple days. That's going to be the story of the rest of the week for sure. You can look at that. All week, highs in the 90s, but there is a silver lining there. We are going to see the trade winds starting to come back there. You can see 10 to 20 miles per hour. We are really going to need that with the humidity, but as you look into the rest of the week, pretty hot out there as you're heading out for your 8-day forecast. Annalisa, we'll send it back to you.
All right, well, the cast of the sitcom Friends are celebrating an anniversary they don't need to feel so glum about. 25 years of that iconic show, one that almost feels as popular as ever.
From product placement...
No, but this Wonder Broom is amazing.
Hey, to memorabilia and even haircuts, Friends has always been a brand that sells.
And 25 years on, that hasn't changed. It's still not enough for viewers just to watch the show. They want to live in the world of Monica, Chandler, Ross, Rachel, Phoebe, and Joey. And that means eating their food, sitting on their couch, and of course, drinking their coffee.
And businesses are taking advantage. Coffee chain Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf jumped at the chance of a tie-up for the anniversary, launching a special edition range of coffee, specialty drinks and memorabilia.
Our Friends-themed coffee mugs we pre-released and actually sold out in about 3 hours.
They also hosted 2 pop-up Central Perk events in Los Angeles in August.
Those 2 locations, we saw significant spikes in foot traffic, but more importantly, as a business, it really bolstered system-wide sales.
Isn't it cool? It's in a apothecary table.
Pottery Barn also brought back the famous apothecary table, which, despite its $1,000 price tag, is a top seller in its department, the company says. Must be the antique properties.
You can almost smell the opium.
Even Lego is getting in on the action with a $60 replica of Central Perk. Lego says it's one of its fastest-selling sets ever. Now, of course, none of these promotions would work nearly as well if Friends hadn't experienced a revival in the age of streaming. Last year, it was Netflix's second most watched show, and the company reportedly paid around $100 million to keep the rights to the show for one more year before it goes on a break, moving to Warner Media's HBO Max streaming service in 2020.
It's an iconic show, and ultimately it's really one of the crown jewels of streaming. Everything changed now with HBO coming in, a major shot across the bow at Netflix, taking Friends, and I ultimately believe 2 to 3% of Netflix viewers watch it just because of Friends.
So for those who say Friends and money don't mix,
What's more important, your friends or money?
Friends.
This 25-year-old sitcom still gets the last laugh. Claire Sebastian, CNN, New York.
And Tom, you know, there's a cafe in Singapore that mimics the entire set.
Interesting. They have one in Vegas now too, so it's become kind of an Instagram spot. But it's kind of crazy how Netflix has kind of brought it to a whole nother generation of viewers for sure. But definitely a classic. All right, time now 7:54. You see them all over the islands, especially when it's Aloha Friday, right? But now a new exhibit showing the history of the Aloha shirt.
Plus, it's your chance to become a star, Hawaii. The details on our Island Idol contest. Don't go away. Good morning, Hawaii. We'll be right back.
Attention, all personnel, report on the double.
We got to nip it! Golly! You got Johnny! Dr. Johnny Fever. I know nothing.
Metv, Digital Channel 4.2 and Spectrum Cable 126.
Right now is the best time to start planning for your future, whether you're looking ahead to secure your goals with one-on-one guidance for setting up investments that work for you, or taking steps to protect your family with life insurance. And then there's planning for retirement, so you can enjoy the things you love with peace of mind. We'll help you meet your goals through life stages. Be ready for what's next with Hamada Financial Group. Contact us today to set a plan for your future. Ready for your next adventure? Let JTB USA give you exclusive access to the best travel packages for Kama'aina for all types of travel. Flight, hotels, and tours. Custom packages to fit any of your travel needs. Exciting 2020 escorted tour listing is now ready. Check out jtbusa.com, Honolulu branch for details. Stop by our Ala Moana office and just tell us where you want to go. We'll handle the rest. JTB USA. Perfect moments, always.
We always wanted to move into our own home.
It took us a couple of years finding some place that was perfect for us. And we were just like, okay, how can we afford something like that?
Angela helped us understand the process bit by bit, treated us like family. That relationship was more than a financial transaction. That was the difference between the other places and Hawaii State Federal Credit Union. Oh my goodness! This is our superhero.
Catch Island Sports with Cody Krupp, weekends on KITV4.
All right, well, say Aloha shirt, and most people think immediately of Hawaii, right? This very local clothing item debuted in the early 20th century, and it's changed so much since.
That's right. A new exhibit at Ward Village traces the history of the Aloha shirt. It's been worn by servicemen stationed in Honolulu during World War II, downtown businessmen, and even surfers. But its designs have changed over the decades. One designer says the shirt's future value lies more in what it symbolizes.
Where do you see the future of the Aloha shirt?
It's really about lifestyles. It's more about comfort, and now I think more than ever we need that message of aloha.
The free exhibit is on display at Ward Village through September 30th.
There's some nice ones there. And as a reminder, we are looking for the best singers in Hawaii to compete for a chance to be a contestant on ABC's American Idol.
All you have to do is record yourself singing on a home camera. Even your cell phone will do. Then go to our website, kitv.com/idol, to submit your video. The singer who wins the grand prize in the Island Idol competition will get to go to Los Angeles and move to the front of the line. It's the first step to making it to ABC's American Idol show. So I know it's National Live Creative Day, so.
Yeah. Well, I already mastered weather in the span of a day. Maybe I can master singing. Who knows?
I think you did very well.
The sky is the limit. All right.
That's right.
All right, thanks for joining us. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. We'll see you then.
Auntie, how did you do in the storm last night? My jealousies leaked water everywhere.
We had no water leakage at all. I'm so glad we installed breezeway louver windows. They not only seal tightly, but they prevent the traffic noise from keeping us up at night. We shouldn't be replacing jealousies for a really long time.